It's Sunday the 22nd of January, 7 minutes past 2 at Ballycopeland Windmill. I passed here a few times in a caravan, but never thought the car park was big enough to come in. You know what, I'm right. There's room there for one coach parking. If I came in the caravan, I could use that space to turn around and get back out. If there was a coach in there, it'd be tight to get turned around and go back out. So that's why we put like this here. You check them out on Google Maps or something first, but if you're not sure. So I did the same way at the Goblins. I checked out the Goblins on Google Maps before I went in the caravan, and I found I could park the caravan parked in the grass if I arrived there in the morning. So I arrived there in the morning, and that's exactly what I done. But it's time you have to book this. It's £3 for self-guided tour, £6 for a guided tour. Open at 4 o'clock at this time of year. Closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I've just noticed that. So as far as I know, there's wee exhibition places and all these outbuildings. So it's not just the windmill itself. I need a wee bin. I'm using all the facilities here. Ballycopeland Windmill. I've been to one windmill down in, near Dublin. Disappointed. Oh, the tour guide, he would depress you. It was during COVID. COVID had just come out. He was petrified. You didn't want to be there, like. Please pay for admission. I went in there earlier on to see if I could book. There was nobody there. I got fed up something. It's not a very big bun, is it? So we'll see if somebody gets out of the bar and the restaurant come over. But using the credit card here now. Toilets and all down the side. Reception desk, and you whack in, they're not there, like. Now they could be out doing the tour. Get my credit card for this. So far in this holiday, I found £2 5p. It's £3 in here, so it's only cost me 95p this holiday. It's only a wee weekend break. See what it is there. See if anybody's here now. Hi there.
You can get guidance, so I send guidance is okay. You better tell them many people on set guidance. It's all the key factors.
Right, no bother, thank you.
This is fellow. Yeah.
Hi there. Done here?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We get a wee ticket for you. Wee souvenir.
Souvenir. I passed here different times in the car on behind, you know. And I always wondered, like, so I'm in the car today, so I'll have to come. I wasn't sure you'd be open or not.
Oh yeah. We're
That's
going
great.
to do now. It's Tuesday to Wednesday.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very happy you can't go there in a caravan either. It's not much of a souvenir copy, is it? I think that I'm missing out there. Should have a wee cardboard. Did they walk over the wall? I don't know, like, I went in there on, there was no reception staff there, you know. There's 3 of them there now. But you have to walk over the wall. They just tape that. They want people going for nothing, like. But that's where the excitement begins. I'm all eco-friendly. Look, even sanitise and everything if you want, but there's one thing not working. I hate it when things don't work. You think with COVID there will be hours going out? Welcome to the Kilman's house. This building was once a 2-storey house right next to the Kilman where the Kilman lived. This was a 2-storey house. There's a vital part of the milling team and all that. Essential conservation, but things like that have always been conserved out in the North Hall part. Just a picture of a stone. I was hoping, the lights don't stay on too long, do they? When was Ballycopeland Windmill built? Anybody wants to know this? Between 1790 and 1813. God, it took long enough, didn't it? Half the workers wouldn't turn up. Well, there's Ballycopeland here now. Kirkestown, that's the ruins. I'm not certain if Ballycopeland Windmill, when it was built, I'm not sure. Between them dates, 1790, you have to read the whole lot, you see. I borrowed £200 in 1813. The family owned it for the next 100 years. Right, they don't know when it was built, but they do know that in the 1700s and early 1800s, over 100 watermills and windmills were established in the county Down. There were so many in the Irish Peninsula, it became known as Little Holland. The peninsula was perfect for mills as the wind came from a relatively constant direction. And why is there no wind turbines here now today, but? If they knew that back then, where's all the wind turbines? You're about to discover Northern Ireland's only working windmill, as it says. I was down in Dublin. That's basically all restored, brand new at the top. So you put your coin in there. Are we allowed to turn this? I'll tell you what, I know why now they've made a windmill. Oh, that is hard there. You wouldn't be grinding too much corn in that there, I tell you. Yeah, look at the flare coming out. Look at that there flare coming out. Oh, I'll take a bit more effort. Oh, definitely. You can see now when you used horses to pull in things. That is hard. Is this a more advanced model? Here is it. Wow, look at that. They invented something new. Is that the ball bearings? Look at that one there. I wouldn't mind a wee bit. This one's definitely, you know what's wrong, but maybe that one's got corn in it and making it hard because the corn is rubbing against it and this one's empty. But that one is a lot easier. The Millars Home. There's a skill involved in it. What is this? Ground by hand. Look at them poor women doing that there. Lensing on the bare feet. How are the wee girls here like? She said bad morning, bad night. But see, I'm saying, this is modern. See, compared to that there, that was high tech in this day. God, take a long time to do your car. Like, do you want bread that badly? Do you? Most people can't even bother going to the shop. They get a loaf nowadays. You want a loaf back in them days. Look at that poor woman there. Having the ground out there. And then she starts to cook it. So what, is it worth the hassle, like? Why not just eat the corn like that later, like? It's bringing out the same nutrients. So we're trying to stay them all here at a hard time here. What do we see? At the height of the harvest, that's a busy time. So that's like, you know what it's like in some in a toy shop? Imagine you doing a museum now for a toy shop. They're saying the day before Christmas Eve it was packed with people. You would run off your feet, never got time for tea break. But then the rest of the year sitting around doing nothing. So at the height of the harvest, a Miller's Day could start at dawn. But the rest of the year, yeah, it's pretty handy. The mill needed constant maintenance. The kiln required careful tendering, and the meal produced needed to be of a high quality. After all, the miller's livelihood was at stake. There's competition here. Plenty of other mills. He doesn't do it right, and one mill down the road do it. Too much reading there. It's all names. I'm no good at names. See, if you send away into primary school to learn, forget about Bill and Bob and all this. Learn names. Wherever you go in life, it's full of names. I have to come back here after Roxy using one for a clearer future. I had to get a turn around. And some repairing the seals. So that's what it looked like, yeah. So an old mill for a new era. They're not doing enough job, didn't they? But that TV should be going. I'd rather sit on this TV screen instead of you touch anything. There's a wee button you can push. Yeah. Kiln Room, Miller's Cottage, Activity Barn, Windmill. I went to the mill there, the water powered mill outside Annalong, and you had to dry the stuff out. You furnace underneath. Ah, there we go now.
I'll stop too long, but the market's going to dry as well.
I'll have to wait this down the show. If you light the fire here, there must be a floor above, like a stove. And that's where they dried out the stuff. The light bulb must have gone. Look, they tried changing the bulb. The bulb is away there. That's probably bringing the cold down there. Don't know, we'll find out later. So all this here is, it's just there to have the floor bulb up. But it's nice to get walking around it. See, I'm here now, it's freezing. That would have been lovely and warm down here. I'll do this starts again now. In springtime, the grain was sown on the ploughed land. Most was broadcast. That is broadcast by hand. So there's broadcast, we think of broadcast now as on TV and radio. Broadcast must have been a word used before TV and all was invented. So broadcast is to spread by hand, it's spread over an area. So I must look it up in the dictionary. Broadcast by hand, and although the seeds fiddle, which helped ensure an even distribution, it was also common into use. Then the ground was harrowed to mix the seed and soil together. By late summer the grain was ripe and was harvested using some words I don't know. What's that? It's done that there now. Sickles, or the new horse-drawn, I see way above the, way ahead of the times, the new horse-drawn reaping machine. I got that today. That brought that farming some money there, that machine. It was then bundled into sheaves and brought them to sticks to dry.
Can you go and see who that is?
That's a curry.
Something
Sure.
like get this right.
Aye.
Has he much of a load? Can you see?
Aye, it looks like he's carrying a fair bit.
You'd best put more coal in the kiln.
Should have put the kettle on his way up.
Ha, right enough. You know McCarty only too well, but now he's some man for the chat.
Let's hope we not stop too long. With the market's grain to dry as well.
Aye, there's thrice of 2 fall acres today. We'll be even busier when theirs comes in.
Here he is now. How are you today, boys?
Fine weather for thrashing. Let's get you sorted.
Them silhouettes there, you don't even see the mouse moving. The words was on it later, they just got the boys standing there, look like you're a worker. See the mouse lifts not even moving like. I notice things like this. I'll push this here button here. So all that's doing, oh god, I knocked it off. Oh, here we go, look. See, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have seen that. It's not, as long as I can HD.
Ballycopeland Windmill
Oh,
has
right.
caught the wind and ground the corn for the farmers of East Down for over 200 years. It stands between the sea and Strangford Lough, 1 mile west of the seaside village of Millisle, at a point where the drumlins give way to more measured hills and rich farmland. Once there were over 100 windmills in the county of Down. Today, Ballycopeland is one of the last original working windmills in the whole of Ireland. History does not relate who built the mill, but in 1845 the Magilton family applied their trade as millers and remained milling until 1915. After 20 years of inactivity, Samuel Magilton, the last miller, offered the windmill to the state. East Down is one of Ireland's finest grain-growing areas, and these are the farmers and their families who would have used the services of the mill towards the end of its heyday, at the close of the 19th century. The miller's house, and below it the kiln house, where the corn was dried. And below that again, the wee house where the kiln man lived, is only a stone's throw from the mill. Corn is brought to the mill in the time-honoured way by horse and cart. There are still a few farmers left who have an interest and affection for working horses, keeping them to till the land and enjoy a day out, perhaps to take part in a parade or a ploughing championship. However, a Clydesdale is a rare sight today. This farmer has brought his corn to the kiln house for drying. Later it will be ground, and he will take the wholemeal home for his family. A miller offered a reliable service to the farming community, which besides milling, would have included cleaning and screening seed corn to remove the weed seeds before planting. The kiln has been lit for several hours to allow the surrounding brick and floor above to heat up and act as a giant radiator. In the past, throughout autumn and early winter, the kiln man was extremely busy, constantly stoking the furnace and hoisting sacks to the drying floor above. The miller's payment for his services was a minter, or bowl of grain, equal to 7 pounds in weight from every sack weighing 112 pounds that he milled. Corn is spread evenly over the floor to a depth of not more than 4 inches. The drying floor is made up of cast iron kiln plates, perforated by hundreds of tiny holes which allow the heat to escape quickly and pass through the grain, drawing off the moisture. A good draught to the furnace is important, and the cock-a-nanny ensures that the chimney cowl always has its back to the wind. The day is fine, but the wind is light. Up on the windmill tower, the fantail ensures that the sails are pointing into the prevailing wind to catch what breeze there is. When the fantail faces the wind, the paddles turn and the roof of the windmill rotates over a series of greased metal plates resting on the upper stonework of the tower, called the dead curb. This brings the sails into the wind to allow the milling to begin. The exposed position of the windmill was chosen with care, so it would catch as much wind as possible. To understand how the windmill works, we find out how the power of the wind makes the millstones turn. The sails are attached to the wind shaft. Where the sails turn, power is transferred through the wind shaft and the large circular brake wheel to the wallower through their interconnecting cogs. The wallower is clamped to the top of the main shaft. The main shaft is made of pitch pine and is probably an old ship's mast. You can see the rope burns near its top. It is centrally placed within the mill, passing down through 2 floors to the gear floor. This is the horizontal great spur wheel. It is clamped to the bottom of the main shaft. The combined weight of the main shaft and great spur wheel rest and pivot on the main bearing underneath. This is one of the 3 stone nuts, a cog wheel that drives the millstones on the floor above. Its axle, which is called the stone spindle, passes upwards through the lower or bed stone and supports the upper runner stone, which is balanced on 4 metal prongs embedded around its centre. Because of the large diameter of the great spur wheel, and because the stone nut is smaller, it spins faster. The teeth of the stone nut are made of a hardwood, such as apple or hornbeam. This is because a metal-to-metal connection turning at high speed could produce a spark and start a fire. The miller has stopped the mill, as he wishes to make use of a second set of millstones to grind oats. First, he must lower the stone nuts to engage its wooden teeth with the cogs of the great spur wheel. The kiln man brings sacks of oats to the mill for grinding into animal feed. The miller tallies every sack that comes through the door and records the farmer's name. The sacks must first be hoisted to the hopper floor at the very top of the mill. The sack's hoist takes its power from a beveled friction drive that engages with the wallower at the top of the main shaft. The sacks pass up through a series of 3 trapdoors before arriving at the hopper floor. Towards the end of its working life, Ballycopeland was used as a provender mill, producing a variety of animal feeds such as cracked or kibbled grain for poultry and bruised or shelled oats. It even ground peas, beans and yellow meal, which was maize. It could have produced flour and ground wheat for wholemeal and oats for porridge meal for human consumption. The grain is emptied into a hopper, which leads to another hopper on the floor below and on to the millstones. The stones are encased by a circular wooden tun, which prevents the ground meal from flying in all directions. As the meal builds up inside the tun, it is channeled by way of a gravity chute to the ground floor. The loose shoe feeds the grain into the eye of the runner stone, and a wooden bow acts as a spring maintaining tension on the loose shoe, holding it against a notched wooden sleeve called the damsel, which clasps the stone spindle, causing it to vibrate and deliver a steady trickle of corn to the stones. The grinding process is clearly understood by looking at a hand rotary quernstone. The bed stone remains static. Corn is fed into the centre of the runner stone, and as it is ground, centrifugal force spins the meal to the outer edge of the stones where it falls to the ground. With large mechanically powered millstones, the runner stone can be raised or lowered to suit the grinding process, but is never allowed to touch the static bedstone because of excessive wear and overheating. The miller makes some adjustments to the loose shoe, slowing down the grain falling into the stones. Constant checks are made to counteract the variable speed of the wind and the amount of corn in the hopper. This is today's end product, whole ground oatmeal, husks and all, to be used as animal feed. It ends one process, but windmills as a source of power were used for many other tasks. They drove circular saws, planers and trip hammers, pumped water, and even ground up the raw materials used in paint making. A new generation of windmills have also been designed to generate electricity. The fact that Ballycopeland Windmill has survived until today is nothing short of a miracle. Its survival owes a lot to forward thinking, together with the dedication and expertise of the Historic Environment Division, who have brought the mill and its outlying buildings to their present near original state of preservation.
Just reading this wee banner here, that was quite good. Sam, a windmill from far away, you think the blades are going slow, but when you're close up, it's going fast. I'm going to go up here now, low ceiling, mind your head. See, if I didn't know to push that wee button there, I thought that wee display, it'd probably better if that display was turned on. So that's where your bags come up there now. Using a chain. Drying floor. Oh, don't turn the light on here. Is the light going to go on now? That's bad, no light on there. That is bad there. It's not lit up. Can you hear the birds outside? Must be. No button on for a light. That's something they need to get going now, wouldn't it? Try and flow. There's no button for a light there. Oh, where's my arm on? Ah, no, there's nothing going to activate. The wee cornball and that along is a good view of the drying floor there. You see, I'm up here now, I feel cold and drafty. It would not have been cold and drafty, it would have been roasting. That fire underneath would have been, might even been a bit steamy, because all the moist heat is coming out of there. That's what I often think Millar's got it handy. You compare the boiling coal mines and linen factories. They might have been a bit dusty right now. Shouldn't have been that there. So, whenever it's dried, he's shoving that stuff on the floor above. Floor above is in here. So you see the ramp going up? That's to make it easy to pull up the straw. Floor above the room is up above that there furnace. He would then put it down that hole. So once your grain goes in the top and it's all wet, by the time it gets dried, he puts it back down in these bags. Now these bags here now are dried. Oh, it's all the water's out of it. There's the on and off there, look, right? See, it worked. What more do you need? Done the job. Cold store. Yes, and Mars went pure black this time. Okay, we cubby hole there now. We're sitting all now, haven't we? We're sitting all.
Aye.
Has he much of a load? Can you see?
You see even like this room here?
Aye, looks like he's carrying
It doesn't say what this room was. I presume this is where they just kept all the bags. And somebody stuffed all the bags, different farmers, put them in different piles, I don't know. But he brings in the cart full of grain. That's full of coal. Shove them in here out of the way, because you couldn't do it all immediately. Maybe a farmer would come in the morning and it'll take it all day to grind it.
How are you today, boys?
I'm on the pressure. Let's get you sorted.
I haven't seen the Star Attraction yet. I think they should have left the house there, you know. Instead of that museum thing, but that door there's closed there. We'll be forbidden entry now, anyway. Oh, we'll try it and see. Ah, that's locked. Look at this wee latch. You don't get them anymore, them wee latches there. Come on, look, signs here, the signs are here. Miller's Cottage. So the actual Miller lived in the wee cottage at the end. Is that free Wi-Fi up there, would it be? Huh? See, I think a house like this would suit me today, you know. Not the fact that it's small and dingy. The fact that I don't like all different rooms in my house. Too many rooms. Hi, this is pretty nice here, you know. See, for back in them days. Ah, this boy, see, Pussy has all his paperwork to do too. Keep an eye on all these bags and all, doesn't they? Like, register all the things and all, like. But, wee bells and all, they light the fire. You wouldn't have think a mother would have all this type of stuff here, would you, like? Ah, you don't know, maybe they found it, like. See, there's nothing, you know what's wrong with this room here? I'm saying that, like, could have been like this, you know, this is the posh room. The rest of the family would have lived in here, wouldn't they? Must have, hold on man. Where's the bedrooms? This cottage, where's the stairs? So that's how it's made there, the wall. You can see this part of the cottage, mud brick wall here, made from clay mixed with straw. It's laid in layers up to 2 feet thick. It was unusual for a cottage in County Down where stone was most commonly used. Stones everywhere in County Down. Mud walls were cheaper than stone, and they also had the advantage of providing better insulation. See, I don't even think going to museums, like, this would have been a bedroom. You imagine this would be a bedroom here, wouldn't you? Better insulation. Do you want better insulation from the heat in that room to get into here? This may have been a bedroom or a scullery. There are also 3 bedrooms upstairs. These would have been accessed by climbing a ladder. I'm not going to see upstairs. Thomas and Leigh and McGillen shared this home with their 5 sons, including Samuel, who would go on to run the mill. They also owned 2 other windmills, one in Ballyhone and Bangor, and one in Ballyhalbert. Sadly, the mills at Ballyhome burned down in 1922, and the mill at Ballyhalbert was demolished in 1940. Ballyhome Windmill had the same roller reefing system as Ballycopeland Windmill. A photograph of Ballyhome Windmill was used to help reinstate I don't know what the word is. I know what it is, but I can't pronounce it. Authentic roller reefing system at Ballycopeland. Samuel was the last of 3 generations of the McGilton family to operate this mill. It was his only home. Born in 1880, he gifted Ballycopeland Windmill to the state in 1937, but stayed on as a caretaker. I was getting that badly run down and he couldn't afford to fix it up. So he's the last of the family. But like 5 wains in this house, plenty of room. Like you upstairs as well, upstairs the same size. Like bearing in mind you didn't sit at home watching Netflix all day, you were out working. Compared to some of the homes in Folk Park, this is quite a nice wee spot. But I wonder where the ladder was that took you up upstairs. You wouldn't have had a ladder, would you, in the grand room at the front? You know what, but you see, clay floor, that is a wooden floor there. That's the only one with a wooden floor. So this would have been posh, like, what the tiles in the front, this would have been posh. So anything else you needed, plates and all that were all done here. They were standing, they would come in with the muddy boots, they were mucked everywhere. So that's where you want the tile floor. Gas lamps and candles, brought the water from the well. But that was normal. That was just normal in them days. Didn't do nothing. Imagine people nowadays having to load the dishwasher by themselves. People in 100 years time will be looking back. God, they had to load dishwashers by themselves back in 2023. God, they had it hard. That's a good output there for the ashes, isn't it, boys? Look. You want to empty them ashes every day. You know, maybe they burnt out peat and stuff, you see. A lot of ashes, that burns quickly. But that's a queer hole there for the ash there. Wee crane and all. I remember my mother did home help for a woman. It was like a 2 up, 2 down house. It was older than a 2 up, 2 down house. Her father, she lived in Staban. Her father was a shoemaker. He had the wee room at the front. He did his shoemaking room at the front. Then it became the grand room like they did it. And she had a fireplace. It wasn't all stone. It was like an I don't know what was on it, like an cover on it. And I managed to win. Mother did home house, she had to drive me along. And I put my hand in behind, like, you know when you win, you poke at things like, and one of them wee cockroaches, not cockroaches, the wee black beetle things. The house was full. And she was sitting in her chair at the fire, with a walking stick. I don't know if she could walk or not, I've never seen her moving. She always sat in the chair, and she got the walking stick and she tried to kill it. That's she loved to pass the day, like. And that house was, I'll tell you exactly where the house was. It's where the traffic lights are now, if you're going through Staban, next to Aldi. And it's the main junction now. Our house was underneath that junction. No water, and we would go down, just to be a hand pump, but the hand pump was modernised to a tap. And we went down and got water for her and bring the water up, bucket of water. And then the toilet was outside in the backyard. So 2 rooms downstairs, we narrow hallway. The front room was the grand room not used. The wee room she would have lived in. I doubt it was even as big as this. And she had to wash dishes and all in it. So you brought the water in the bucket. And that's when I was away, like. So she was doing that there. Look at this house. They were well off. This would have been a wee half door as well in this time. Didn't want to pay a taxi here in the wonders. I'm just nosy. If you're going to get a tour, you may as well take advantage of a self-guided tour. There you are, there's all the fire equipment in there. Now I want to know where the wee ladder was. Back door. There are very few houses in Folk Park have back doors on them. There's no sign there, look. We lost there, look. Oh, security, we're going off now, like. Oh, fuck's sake, look at that. I'll tell you what. Fuck, there's something written up there. for that wee lock to hold there. Fuck's sake, that's heavy. So that's, they went up the ladder there. That is heavy, there's light up there too. That's heavy, I thought. I wasn't expecting that wood. Self-guided tours, highly recommended. Not much of a backyard left there now. Otherwise I bought the houses on it.